Episode 100 and the return to the game store. Hi, thank you for tuning in to the Tom Patelson Show. Yeah, it is episode 100. This is my 100th episode on the YouTube channel, and I thought I'd take this time to talk about my love of board games and specifically going to the board game store. About 2 years ago, I recorded this video for TikTok.
Comic books. I know what you're thinking. We're up to our necks in it, movies and television with comic book properties, but seriously, it's time to go back to the comic book store. Marvel and DC executives will tell you they love the exposure and the revenue from the movies, but their flagships are still the books themselves. When was the last time you were in a comic book store? And I know you're thinking, well, I don't know where to start. I don't know what book I should read. Can I start in the middle of a storyline? I don't know what to do. Be a kid again. Walk into a comic book store, pick a book off the shelf because you like the cover, and read it. They're still really inexpensive for the beautiful artwork that you get, these amazing paintings and drawings and story, and it's inexpensive. Let's all go back to the comic book store. I'll see you there.
Yeah, comic book stores. It's another great one. I love to go to the store. I love buying things online and reading descriptions and doing my research, but there's nothing like going to the store while they're still with us, okay? So it's time to return to the game store, to the board game store. They're getting really elaborate lately. Now, online purchasing has been around since the mid-1990s. That's still young as a thing in our grand pantheon of life. And by the way, online shopping will be around when I'm gone, and it'll be around when you're gone. I don't care how old you are watching this. We like the online shopping. We like it a lot, and I like it too. But it's around forever. I don't know how long the brick and mortar stores will be around. I don't. 10 or 15 years ago, somebody told me, well, bookstores are gonna go away. There won't be bookstores anymore. And I said, you're nuts. That's a crazy thing to say, that an actual bookstore would be gone. Bookstores are everywhere. Bookstores are some of the oldest buildings we have in the country. In the world, some of the oldest stores are bookstores and libraries, and they're going away. They're leaving. I've still got a Barnes & Noble here in Burbank, but I don't know how long that will be. Less and less people are going to actual physical stores. Now, after the pandemic, or during the pandemic, board games shot a big rise in popularity because people were trapped inside, didn't know what to do, so board games got a big resurgence. And again, I love buying online, I love doing my research, I love doing the thing, but it's not the same as walking in a board game store and seeing the games on the shelves and seeing the bright colors, wanting to pick up and physically hold the box. I've talked about boxes a lot on the channel. There's something about holding it. It's gotta feel right. Everything's gotta feel right for the purchase. And there's nothing better in a busy game store than picking up a game and just shouting, anybody play this? I'm thinking of buying this, and there's always somebody like, yeah, I played that, it's pretty good. Yeah, I played that, I love that. Yeah, don't buy that, whatever it is. But I love that interaction at a game store, which is nice. You know, it's still funny when I tell people that I like to play board games, and you still get the same reaction. If you're a board gamer, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I say, well, we're getting together to play board games tonight. And they go, you like Monopoly? Yeah, like Monopoly. The board game that came out in 1936. That's like saying you're going to listen to some music and someone going like, you mean like Bing Crosby? Yes. There's been many other board games that have come out since 1936, but Monopoly is the one everybody thinks of when you hear the word board game. You think of Monopoly. There's no getting around that. I talked about board game stores stepping up their game. It's a fairly new thing for me. I remember back in the day, there's a board game store in a mall, which is no longer there. The mall has been demolished, and the board game store, or the game store, was called Fascination Corner. And we used to love Fascination Corner and go in there, look at the D&D figurines, which were metal at the time, and the paint and the board game books and all of the war games and all the things like that. It was a fun store to go into, and it jumpstarts your imagination to go into a board game store. But now, oh, and by the way, and in Fascination Corner, in the back, there was an area of a single table where some people were going to play Dungeons and Dragons every now and again. Like there was a live event going on. Board game stores now, my favorite board game store, my brother John recently visited. Hey, John. And we went to my favorite board game store, which I'll give them a little love. They are Geeky Teas and Games here in Burbank, California. And they are my favorite board game store because they have board games and they have dice and they have clothing and they have role-playing game books. They have private rooms you can rent. They have giant war tables for Warhammer and other games. It's huge, it's enormous, and it's always filled with fun people playing games. One of the things they have there, and a lot of other game stores are starting to do this, is have a library of pre-owned games. And you can pay a little fee and sit down at a table, pull a game off their shelf and play it. Play it with your friends. You can play a game. What a great date night that is for something original, for people who say there's no more originality out in the world. Take your date to the board game store. Say we're gonna go play a game together and see if we like this one. We don't have to buy, we don't have to do anything. We're just gonna have a nice time playing a game together. Families, take the family to the game store. It's cheap. It's inexpensively cheap. I mean, to buy, there was a game there I played the other day that I wanted to buy, and it's out of print, and it's $120 on eBay is the cheapest one I could find. But no, I went to the board game store to play Flick 'em Up, which I'd never played before. Totally fun, totally enjoyable. And I didn't have to buy it, and we put it right back on the shelf, and then we went home. Going to the game store. For things to do, my goodness, get out and see humanity. We can all order coffee, we can all make coffee, we can all drink coffee at home, we can go through a drive-through at several other places, but we still love to go to coffee shops. That's where people are. Even if you go there by yourself and sitting down on your laptop, if you're in LA, you're working on a screenplay, everybody is. But go into a coffee shop to be around humanity. Go to the board game store. It is full of people like you and me doing things that we love. Who doesn't like being surrounded by that kind of energy? Go to the board game store. Yeah, get back to the board game store. So that'll do it this week for a little love for the board game store for episode 100. I was just there. I'm going back there soon. I haven't done a shelf. I haven't talked about the shelf in quite some time, but I'll show some love for a buddy of mine, Tristan. Got me a Bebop because he saw it somewhere. I can't remember how he got it. It was from 2019, which means it's not going to be worth money. I don't collect things anyways like that. And to prove that, I'm pulling Bebop out right now. Oh, he's got a weapon. He's got his shell drill. So I'm going to put him on the shelf where he will live in glory with Kirk and Spock, with Johnny Quest and Haji, with Burnham, with Picard, with Worf, etc. Going on the shelf right now. And there he shall live. There Bebop shall live. Thank you, Tristan, for the gift. That was very nice. It makes me realize I didn't have any of the Ninja Turtles up on the shelf. I need more toys. I need more things. There's going to be some big changes in the shelf and in the studio. I'm getting a new studio at the beginning of the year, but I'll do a tour of that when we get there. Episode 100. I really appreciate you coming with me on this journey and talk about the things that we love. Get to the board game store to surround yourself with more human beings like us. It'll make you feel better, make you feel good, make you smile. Till I see you next time, as always. Peace, love, live long and prosper. And I mean it.